So this is the last live training session. So I just basically wanted to wrap up everything, kind of summarize some of the high points of what you really need to focus on, or what I would focus on if I were you, um, and also answer any questions that you may have up to this point. Um, then what's going to happen is we are actually, as we speak, going through all of the content, and we're going to be editing and slicing and dicing the videos and stuff like that to make everything kind of flow better as far as the whole entire training. So I think that you'll like the finished product. So that's what we're gonna do after today. And then you'll have access to that, and it will be updated. It will become a product that will be sold to hopefully lots of people. So you don't have to worry about it being ignored or not being up to date. So that is the plan. So I've got that recording. All right. So let me see what kind of question you had. Actually, somebody did email me a question. I need to find that at some point. But for now, ask me what you want to know. Let's see if we got any so far. Nobody has questions. Everybody knows everything. Okay. Oh, I'll give you a chance to ask some questions there, and ask a kind of detailed, good question, um, so we can give you a good answer. So anyway, so let me get out some paper, and I just wanted to kind of go over uh, the whole approach in a nutshell with mobile, and then then go hit up a couple of the specific campaigns, um, so that you guys can can crush it. So say six figure mobile approach. All right. Now since we we really focused on Facebook, um, quite a bit. So we covered some GDN last week, and I'm gonna talk about some GDN question. Uh, some GDN stuff today. But but so most of the stuff's going to kind of go for Facebook, but it really goes for all of them. So the main thing is, let me see how to do this, how to do this, how to do this. All right, let's look at two different types of offers. We will look at lead gen, because that would be like, oops, lead gen, like we looked at auto insurance and refi mostly. So we'll just say refi here. Um, what we found is simple lander. All right, so for some of them, it was just to get a click through, and others it was more of a pre-sale. So we had two different types of landers for the refi. Uh, we had a simple. What was it? What would you call it? Or here, I'll just get it. I'll just give it for example of it. Called the shorty, and all it pretty much had was this logo, this one line of text, and then a call to action. And this was designed with the HARP approval offer in mind. It's actually the same, like background and stuff. So we had this type of offer. I mean, this type of landing page. So let me put this over here. And then we had an advertorial. And it was a short advertorial. But advertorial nonetheless. And that one was this. Now, when it came to Facebook, both of those styles worked. When it came to GDN, the advertorial definitely performed a lot better, at least for me. So, that might be something to keep in mind here. But both of these that I've tested on Facebook, I was able to get profitable. Okay, and with the ads that I gave you before, and that I will. Well, that's another thing I'll do. Like I'll for each of the offers that we worked on, mainly it's going to be refi, and it's also going to be the blood pressure offer, because those were ones that, we were able to get profitable. And I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I think that those are the ones I want to focus on. And yeah, so both of these pages, worked. And we also introduced we had another offer, Rate Marketplace. Honestly, overall, I mean, I think that at least in my experience, the EPC ended up being like pretty equal. The Rate Marketplace has a higher CPA, but obviously the Harper approval converts better. I mean, actually, again, it really depends on the source. I mean, I found that the Harper approval one did better on Google, on GDN, than Rate Marketplace. And on Facebook, depending on it really depends on the ad and the age demographic and stuff like that. But anyway, so that's that. So let's just put lead gen down here, and then we will talk about the blood pressure over here. So let's go back up to here. A couple of things to rules of thumb that I would definitely always do. Always divide groups, divide age and gender. How do I say? Divide campaign into age, gender. We'll go 10-year. Gender. Okay, so you're gonna have so for instance, you might have a 35 to 44 male, then you have 45 to 54 male. I would never really, I mean, it depends on your offer, but I would not do anything below 35, especially if it involves a credit card and buying something. But if you're doing like stuff like refi, really, I would, I think about homeowners. So, I would say 35 would be a minimum. 55 to 64. And this is how Facebook and Google do it. And so we'll just say man, woman. I wouldn't mix these up. I mean, now, if your conversion pixel is working really well, then you may be able to mix it up at first. But as long as you can, but I would still just keep them separate, just as a best practice. And then you have 65 plus, male, men and women. All right, so this is one thing, – big time rule of thumb here. Also, it comes down to the image. Image is everything. All right. So again, like when it comes to like how much time you spend on stuff, how much time you're spending on what activity. Um, as far as like what activities really make you the most money, um, I tell you one thing. I spend a lot of my time on that makes me the most money is finding images. All right, finding images because you find like a couple really home run images, then you are going to make a lot of money. Okay, and you can build images. I mean, you can build, your ad, almost a whole campaign around an image if it's good enough. All right, so we're talking mobile here, and so you're probably one of them, and you see people, just people scrolling really fast, really quickly through their news feed. Okay, and so the only thing that's gonna make them stop is something that really catches their eye. Okay, so it could be something that their mom said, or and the person that's kind of saying it jumps out at them, or the image. I mean, people just kind of scroll and look for pictures. I mean, that's just naturally what people do. And so, you in order to get their attention, you have to have something that stands out, that jumps out at them, that grabs it. But you have to walk the fine line of it not being, too shocking and jarring, that they will get complaints and that Facebook, wouldn't like it. But it's a line that you must tread if you want to make a lot of money because it all boils down to this. I mean, this business is not super complicated. Well, it kind of is, but um, it boils down to some simple concepts, and it's mostly you're buying traffic. Okay, it's like the stock market. It's like the click market. So the way you make money is you got to make um, you got to build up your conversions as high as possible. You got to make it convert as high as best as it can, through a lot of testing. Um, but at the same time, you want the traffic to be as cheap as possible because the cheaper it is, the more profitable it's going to be. And so the way that you get cheap traffic on Facebook is images. All right, is great images. So, and it goes for everything. Even if you're advertising YouTube, the what's it called, the image, the image that like the video image, whatever, has to catch people's attention, or has to work. And this does follow over to Google because if you're talking about making banners, then you can use those same images, that you use from Facebook, to make a banner, and chances are that it's going to do well, with the banner as well. So images everything. And one concept that I kind of harp on that we talked about is let other people curate them for you. Um, like you don't have to scour. I mean, you're going to be scouring the internet for images anyway. But instead of scouring just images, scour collections of images that other people have gathered. All right. There's people that do and websites that do nothing but try to find interesting images online, funny images, especially. And there's people that's all they do. I mean, the Pinterest. It's got people that have literally, large collections of images that you may be able to use in an ad. So spend a lot of time looking for images. It's going to be worth it. All right, but as you place ads and stuff, you can get a good idea of what works. And so I'm going to give you a couple of the ones that work for me, to get you started. But ultimately, if you want to be successful in this, you're gonna have to do it and find your own because the ones that they're gonna be burnt out. Especially if I'm giving out to everybody, so it's probably gonna burn out pretty fast. So you gotta always know how to. It's better to teach a man to fish than give him fish. All right, so I got to teach you how to fish for images. So hopefully I did that. We covered it in depth. If you have any questions on that, whatever, you can let me know. So divide your campaign up. Images. Let other people curate them for you. What other principles do we want to also? Oh, also, our tracking setup. Make sure we pass a keyword. I want to say pass variables in addition to what do we say? In addition to tracking. All right. So in other words, what I'm saying here is, I mean, your tracking system, is going to track like the type of device and um, like which landing page and all that type of stuff, whatever that you put in it. But you still need to pass other information. Namely, you need to pass stuff um, like the some kind of ad ID, so you know which ad produced the sale. If it's GAN, you need keyword. You need placements. Okay, you need. You don't necessarily need device type, but um, let me see what else. What else do you want to pass? You can pass a lot of stuff. I mean, there's lots of variables that you can pass, but the main thing is just to take advantage of that fact. And this is whether you're on CPV Lab or whether you're on Volume. You can pass custom variables that can tell you various things. But for GDN, the main thing is going to really that you definitely have to get are the ad ID and the placement. I mean, keyword too. I mean, yeah, these three are crucial, um, for GDN. And then you got device, but like I said, your tracking will pick it up already. But still, it's not a bad thing to have. Um, and so et cetera, whatever. But so in addition, because not only do you want to know, like which landing page cause a conversion, but you need to know which ad, and then ultimately you're going to optimize and get down to the ad uh, lander, device combination. All right. And so once you get data on here, so gather there. So basically let it run and let me see. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do, and then optimize to get down to the best ad lander combination. That's also what you want to have. And here's the thing too. You want to be wide as possible. Okay, so but okay, speak of profitability. Okay, and also one thing is to use redirects to maximize EPC. All right. So all right. So the reason why we do all this tracking, how the stuff in place is so that as we gather data, as we get conversion, as we spend money, then we can optimize. Okay, so here's where it gets really powerful. Because let's just say if you were just looking at this like one particular way, let's just say for example you have 10 ads. Okay, you have 10 ads that you're sending traffic to. Four of them converted. Okay, now you look at the ECPM, and so there is an overall winner. However, there's all different types of traffic coming in. There's all different types of devices. Different landing pages. Different headlines and stuff, and images if you're using Landing Page Genius. So there is not one clear winner. All right. So this is where the redirects are so powerful because you can actually redirect based on the ad. So each one of those ads, let's just say ad number one, let's just say that it performed with a certain landing page, it performed extremely well with the iPhone. All right. So basically you can divide up most your traffic in terms of the major devices, let's just say for this point, but it could be devices, it could be OS versions, it could be carriers, it could be lots of different other things. Let's just say like device models for at this point. So you look at which ad and which landing page performed best with the iPhone. All right, and so you pick whichever combination that was, and so you use the redirects to show where all iPhone traffic comes in to direct to this particular landing page offer combination. All right, and then you can break down for iPad, and you can break it down for if there's any other major Android, like say if it was like a Samsung Galaxy or something like that. But where you specifically have devices that are extremely profitable. Like you can basically pick the most profitable ad landing page ad landing page combination for each campaign. So and that's ultimately what it boils down to. Ultimately, boils down to this is, use redirects. This is like the most powerful thing in mobile. You got to get the data first, but then you want to use redirects to maximize your EPCs, and you want to be as wide as possible with focus on max profitability. So what I mean by that is, hopefully your ad works, your thing works for every single phone, known to man. But chances are it's not. All right, so maybe so say for example, iPhone is a pretty wide category. So you divide iPhone up. Okay, so maybe you can't get all the iPhone traffic, but maybe you do well iPhone 6s or iPhone 6 Plus or whatever the particular um, thing is. Maybe your stuff bombs on iPhone 4, but iPhone 5 and 6 doesn't like it. Okay, so what I'm saying is like it's better, and it could be even smaller than that. It could be like a device. Like I particularly, sometimes I think it's like it'd be some like some obscure like Motorola phone, that my stuff kind of converts, well on, and it's like it's not like a ton of traffic, but it's so profitable that why not just send. If you have enough of those, like if you have enough data on these particular devices that that are super super profitable for you, then try to maximize that. All right, and here is another. This I didn't really talk about this, but if you're only profitable or um, very profitable. Oh, let's just put it this way: if you're very profitable with a particular, I'll say, device model, then go deep. All right, so this is how you can, really make a lot of money, even with some of these obscure type of phones that, that do well. So let's just say for example, um, you do. Let's just say like this, like your campaign did horrible. You really lost a lot of money, except for this model. It's so obscure they it don't even. It's an MDEL. It's not even a model. It's an MDEL 5173. All right. So your thing is getting like, I mean, and you actually got 10 conversions on this phone over a long time, and it's like 500% ROI. All right. Pretty much every other thing is negative. All right. So now this happened over like a month. All right. So this happened over a month. All right. So, that's less than one conversion per day. So you're not going to get rich on the MDEL, 5958. You're not. But what if you had this and it was, let's just say, for example, this was on GDN. This is kind of like how to reverse optimize GDN. Um, so let's just say, yeah, 'cause actually you can get the specific model there pretty easily. Um, so let's just say like you got 10 conversions, but you had it in a uh, campaign that was for 55, 55 to 64-year-old men, and it had keywords. It had refinance keywords. All right, so the first thing I would do would be like, man, well, um, since this phone is so magic and it's something with this phone and this offer, that let me just drop the keywords. Okay, so you could or you might even have placements. So yeah, so let's just say if you have managed placements, meaning that these are placements that you chose. So basically, what I'm saying is that remove the targeting. All right, you do the same thing on Facebook. Okay, so remove the targeting and then see how it does with general 55 to 64-year-old males. And if it still kicks ass after that, then I would try it in the different other age groups and gender groups. I'd try, men 45 to 54, 65 plus, women, the same age groups. So, does that make sense? I want them to click through. So the landing page is there. Only, yeah, it's not. I take that back. It's not necessary because actually, um, I actually had another campaign. It was for Venus. It was a weight loss offer that was on ClickBank, and the first landing page I had, it had like some testimonials or whatever, and it ended up doing better without them because I don't want people to dwell on that page. It's not. It doesn't take much of a pre-sale. I just want them to click and watch the video. Click through and watch the video. Click through and watch the video. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Now, I mean, if it's an advertorial, yeah, then maybe it could work. But again, like it's not as much of a pre-sale as like Skin and Diet, where you're trying to get somebody to pull out a credit card. All you want them to do is fill out the form, get a quote, something like that. Formula for At what point you leave it alone. I mean, I theoretically you should always, be kind of testing, try to beat your control, So, like Gohar says, just take 10% of your traffic and keep testing with it. But once it's, after a while, it's kind of in cruise control. So, but as far as, scaling, once you have a good that combination, mostly kind of like how I was saying, basically removing targeting, um, you know, removing the targeting and, and just getting it to a wider base of people. Um, I mean, the other thing too is that if you have that on, you know, Facebook, to try the exact same, device and stuff on Google. I mean, again, ideally, we want it to be like more than just, one device, that converts or whatever. So we want, as many as possible, or at least a whole class of them. Like, like if the, like if the, like Samsung Galaxy S, 4 is in general. I mean, you could break it out to the different models inside of there, but ideally, maybe the Galaxy 4 and 5, work. But for that reason, the Galaxy 6 wasn't profitable, so whatever. But yeah, but I mean, the main way to expand it is just to put it in front of more people by removing the targeting. And you could also maybe gradually maybe add some similar devices. See if you can get similar results. Let's see. James and marketing. Thank you. Oh, you don't come and drink in Vegas. That's cool. MacDale, you just see the white screen. Do you see it? Anything now? You should see this Word document. You just increase the budget only in the morning, and that's it. Because if you just increase it, just kind of in the middle of the day, then it's gonna respond to having more money to work with by increasing your CPM. That's what happens. So if you make any changes in the budget, you need to do it first thing in the morning, or even like at midnight. 12:03 in the afternoon or at midnight. I mean, 3 minutes after midnight. Is to not use OCPM. I mean, once you run it and you kind of know where your CPC needs to be, then run manual CPC. Then you know that you're not going to pay more than a certain cost per click. So refi first. There's a lot of you can put together a pretty big audience, with some interest. So I did use interest there. But like for the blood pressure offer, it really wasn't any interest. I mean, interests were I only had a small number of people. So there I just went with demographic targeting. So it depends. But ideally, even if I start off with images, I want to get away from them because I want to expand my audience as big as possible. Uh, once you know what I offer to do, what's your thinking behind choosing images? I mean, I went through, I believe, and it seems like, but it really depends on which landing page you choose and your ad. I mean, it depends on a lot of things. I'm actually now kind of having to give the nod to the Harp offer right now at the moment. It's doing better for me. Based on looking at which one you feel as though you want to promote, you can try that way. As far as the offers in Rockstar Alliance Media, there's not very many, and the ones that are there, I have pretty sure I have promoted all of them, and they do convert. So those, they all work. I gotta look back over them just to make sure I'm looking at it real quick because I don't even know what's in there to be honest with you. Let's see here. Or you get the blood pressure offer. The blood pressure offer is in the back office of Rockstar Alliance Media. It is there.